Senior Claire Jenkins and head coach Patrick Murphy. It explained it in the email, but how this works is if you have a question for either of them, go ahead and hit the raise hand icon on Zoom. That'll put you in the queue. I'll call on you one by one, and then you just unmute yourself and ask your question. So if y'all are ready, we'll go ahead and get started with, we'll just open it up for questions for Claire Jenkins. And Edwin Stanton, go ahead.
Hey, Claire, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm great. Well, first of all, how do you feel health-wise? Are you ready to go after last season?
Oh, I feel great. I got to work out and train and rehab for way longer than I expected, and I'm ready to be back on the field.
Just one follow-up. What's it like going into this season compared to last season, with all the COVID and stuff, and now that y'all have got a second chance to have a better start than what y'all did last year?
I think this year everyone has gotten the chance to reflect, and that everyone's not taking a single day for granted because we know how quickly it can end and like how lucky we are to be out here with each other and how every day is a blessing. So this year we're just going to be competing every single day and enjoying every moment.
Any other questions for Claire? I know Zoom recently moved the raise hand button, so if you can't find it, just unmute yourself and go ahead and ask a question and introduce yourself. James, go ahead.
Hey Claire, James Benedetto with Tide 100.9. Just can you talk a little bit about coming through your injury and just the work it kind of took for you to get to this point?
Yes. So it's been a long road, definitely, but with the support of all of our staff here at Bama and like them working with me day in and day out, and just seeing like the little improvements every day has like kept me focused on what tomorrow brings and what this season brings, and like trying to keep a positive attitude throughout the whole process, and just like looking forward to getting back out there with my teammates and getting to share like one last season with them and like go out with a bang.
Edwin, go ahead.
Claire, just talk a little bit about some of these incoming freshmen and what's been impressive about them so far. I know y'all haven't really gotten to practice, but just seeing them on the field, just kind of doing walkthroughs and that kind of stuff.
I would say the most impressive thing about them is how on day one they came out here and were exactly who they were. Like they were themselves completely 100%. They didn't seem very nervous in front of us. They were just out here like ready to have a good time, and every day they come ready to work, and they just like they have fun doing it and they have fun being around us, and they work really hard. I know I spent a lot of time with Bailey Dowling in the infield, and she's amazing. She works extremely hard, and I can't wait to play beside her this year.
Thanks.
You got another one from James?
Claire, can you talk about personally how it feels to look at the schedule and to see that it's going to be a full schedule? Were you excited, and kind of just your immediate reaction when you got to see the schedule?
Immediate reaction was relieved. I was so dreading a shortened season. I wanted more than anything to have a full schedule, and to see that we were getting to play a bunch of amazing teams right off the bat and having great competition throughout the entire season is super exciting.
Robert, go ahead.
Hello, Claire. It's Robert Cortez with the Crimson White. I was just wondering, how do you guys stay mentally focused for not just such a tough in-conference season, but out of conference, you guys play someone who has been ranked in the top 25, like throughout last year, the season before that?
Coach Murphy always talks about respecting each opponent, and I think, and like by respecting them, we have to play our best every single game. And I think that's how we stay focused, is like just like one game at a time, respecting each opponent and doing what we know how to do each game.
Any other questions for Claire? Tom Canterbury, go ahead.
Hey, Claire. after having what you went through last year, not being able to play anyway, and then having the season cut short, do you specifically, and then have you talked to other teammates, have just a bigger and even more of an appreciation of just being able to get out there and competing?
Yes, for sure. I know that a couple days this week we got to get out on the field in small groups and like throw around and everything, and a bunch of the girls on the team, myself included, cannot wait for our first practice on Saturday and just to get going with everything, because like I said, like every day is a blessing, and after last season it can be taken away in a heartbeat. So just like knowing that we have to take each moment and just like run with it and live in the moment and be with each other.
Any other Edwin, go ahead.
Hey, just talk a little, along the lines of all these incoming freshmen and a lot more people on the roster. Can you talk a little bit about the competition for some of these spots? There's a limited amount of spots and a lot of people competing for them. Can you just talk a little bit about that and how that's going to be different this year?
Yes, having more people on the field during practice and stuff is a little bit different than we usually have. It's really exciting to see how many people can play different positions and how well everyone can play different positions. But I know for me personally, I love the competition. I love like getting to compete with people alongside me and just getting to like see the competition bring the best out of everybody and see them bring the best to practice every day. So I think it's going to make us overall a better team, because people are not going to have the opportunity to slack off or anything. Like they know every day they have to come out and give their best.
Thank you.
Anything else for Claire? All right, if not, thank you, Claire, and we'll move on to head coach Patrick Murphy.
Thank y'all.